The Farmer and the Pebble Path, full story script. They say a man's temper can change a landscape, but no one believed that until they met the farmer who built a road out of the very pebbles he once cursed. It began on a fog-heavy morning in the valley when the farmer, Rye, was trudging up the slope to his fields. The earth was still cold, the sunrise weak, and every few steps crack, shift, stab a pebble jabbed the arch of his foot through his worn boots. Blasted stones, he muttered, kicking one aside. They scattered like tiny insults across the dirt trail. He hated them, hated how they slowed him, tripped him, forced him to walk carefully when all he wanted was speed. But that morning, something strange happened. Just as Rye reached the top of the hill, he slipped. Not a dramatic fall, just a jolt, a twist, a sting. One sharp pebble had rolled beneath his heel, and the pain shot up his leg. He steadied himself, heart pounding. And when he looked down, he saw it. A single smooth river-washed stone, out of place on the mountain's path. For a moment he simply stared at it, puzzled. Then the thought slipped in quietly, like a whisper he wasn't sure he heard. If this pebble hadn't slowed you, you would have stepped into that ditch. You could have broken something. Rye scoffed at himself. A stone saving me? Foolish. Yet he picked it up and slipped it into his pocket. And that was the beginning. In the days that followed, Ray noticed more. Pebbles that nudged his step away from mud pits. Pebbles that shifted his walk just enough to avoid low branches. Pebbles that tripped him early, before something worse could happen later. He dismissed it all at first, but he kept collecting them, and soon the rocky trail near his farm grew smoother, not because the stones had vanished, but because they were piling up in a wooden box beside his barn. The villagers teased him. Ray, planning to sell rocks now? What's next? Pebble stew? He laughed with them, but privately, he wondered why he couldn't stop gathering them. It wasn't until the storm. One night, lightning clawed across the sky and rain hammered the valley like fists. The path to Rye's fields turned to sludge, and the hillside began to slide. By dawn, half the trail had washed away, leaving deep gashes where travelers used to walk. The village panicked. This was the only route connecting them to the market road. Without it, they were cut off. Ray stood at the edge of the destruction, clutching the old wooden box filled with the pebbles he'd once despised, and for the first time, he understood. These stones kept me steady, he murmured. Maybe they can do the same for all of us. He carried the box to the ruined path, then another, then another. For days he worked, barefoot, letting the earth guide him. He laid the pebbles carefully, one by one, pressing them into the mud until a narrow but solid walkway began to appear. Villagers watched, then joined. Children fetched stones from the river. Elders arranged them with practiced patience, and slowly, miraculously, the shattered trail became a shining ribbon of smooth, glistening pebbles, winding like a gentle river across the hillside. When the storm finally cleared, the sun rose over a transformed valley. The path sparkled. Travelers crossed safely. And Ray felt something settle in his chest. Something lighter than pride, but stronger than relief. He realized he had not built a path despite the pebbles. He had built it because of them. The very things he once cursed became the foundation of something beautiful, something enduring. So now, whenever someone walks the pebble path and asks him why he built it, Ray only smiles and says, "Every irritation in life can become a stepping stone, if you're willing to pick it up." And the villagers swear that in the evenings, when the wind drifts gently over the hillside, you can hear the pebbles chiming softly beneath your boots, like they're telling their own story of patience, purpose, and transformation. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.